Hey folks, I cannot believe it. We are in October, a month away from the Melbourne Cup. In between that, on the 16th of October, we've got the Caulfield Cup. On the 26th of October, we've got the Cox Plate, and on the 30th, we've got the Lexus Stakes. It's right around the corner, and I cannot wait. It's time for Isaac's Saturday race tips. We've got races today at Flemington and at Royal Randwick, which I'll look at. Let's start off with Flemington, and let's start off with race 2, the Kirkland Lake Gold Super Stakes. Now, it's an 1800 metre. I've only got the one selection in this. I've gone with number 9, Turn It Up Tommy, barrier 3, Lockie King on board. Last time it ran at 1800, he came third at this track, so he goes alright, Turn It Up Tommy. He's currently backed at $15, so it's a bit of a long shot, but I'm willing to take that. Hopefully he gets a place, so maybe go with an each way bet on that one. Race 4 is the Group 2 Gamble Stakes. It's a 1200 metre. I've got number 3, Kemapasa. Now, barrier 8, Damon Lane on board, currently back to $4.20. I think Kemapasa can go well. Last run at Flemington was a win, but that was the Tab Stakes back in 2020, so it's been a while. But this horse can adjust to the track, it can adjust to speed, so hopefully Kemapasa can get the win. I've also chucked in number 6, Away Game, barrier 2, John McNeil in the saddle. Currently back to $3.70, good odds there. Last start at Flemington, same distance, and it came second. So Away Game, he likes a bit of weight, and he's got it today. I think he's around the 57 kilo mark. Don't quote me on that, but just off the top of my head. So hopefully Away Game can get the win. Race 5 is the VRC Members Danehill Stakes. It's an 1100 metre. Now, looking at this race, I was a bit, I don't know who to go with, because I've seen many horses in this race run before, and they've been brilliant this year. So I've gone with number 1, Ingratiating, barrier 10, Damien Oliver on board. It's the favourite at $3.90. Last start at this track came second, and, hopefully Ingratiating goes well today, but that last start, it was beaten by Ranch Hands, who is my second selection, number 4, barrier 6, Brett Preble in the saddle, currently back to $4.80. Hopefully, it backs up that win from its last start and gets another win, or at least a placing. Ranch Hands was just fantastic, hunting down Ingratiating in that last race, so that was brilliant. Hopefully, Ranch Hand can do it again, but I've got Ingratiating on top. Race 6 is the Furphy Rose of Kingston Stakes. It's a 1,410 metre race. Now, I've got number 2, Instant Celebrity, barrier 5, Ben Allen in the saddle, currently back to $6.50. Maybe a placing for Instant Celebrity today, I believe. It had a lot of different jockeys. It's had a lot of different jockeys in the past, I should say. Both 1,400 metres were ridden by Craig Williams. I guess it's used to that ride from Craig, out of those two 1,400, one win, the other one came 6th placing. So, I'm not sure. Hopefully Ben goes well. Instant Celebrity, I know in the past had Jamie Carr ridden it as well. So it's been chipped and chopped with the jockeys. But hopefully Instant Celebrity goes well. If, I guess Ben can get that, maybe, ride along the barrier. We've seen Craig do it in the past. Maybe a placing. But to win it, and this is locked in, probably one of my picks of the day, number 9, Anavisto, barrier 14, John Allen on board, currently back at $5. Last start, fantastic. I reckon it'll go back-to-back. Anavisto, she's just beautiful to watch, and hopefully she gets the win today. Race 7 is the TAB Turnbull Stakes. It's a 2,000 metre now. What a field of horses we've got in the Turnbull. I've got number 3, Incentivized, barrier 6, Brett Preble on board, currently back to $2.50. Now, number 4, Very Elegant, will go well. It is the favourite, Damien Lane on board for that. But I reckon, now, listen up folks, number 7, Persan, barrier 1, Luke Curry on board. I reckon Persan can place. It can get a placing. You never know, maybe a surprising win. But Persan, we've seen it in the past. That 2,000 metre race or above, Persan's gone brilliant. and it's got the win in some cases, so you never know, the long shot might get a placing. Race 8 is the Bart Cummings. It's a 2,520 metre. For the winner, well, it's a ticket into the Melbourne Cup. It's a huge race, so much at stake, so much up for grabs, I should say. I've got number 3, Knight's Order. Barrier 14, Mickey D in the saddle. Now, Knight's Order currently backed at $18, so it is a bit of a roughie. I've also chucked in number 11, Grand Promenade, Barrier 6. It is the favourite at $4.60. John Allen looks really good. John Allen looks really good on this horse. He's a great jockey, and this horse, Grand Promenade, he just looks fantastic. Its recent form it's been brilliant with distance and the track record. It all adds up. He's been brilliant at Flemington, and he'd probably win the Bart Cummings, but you never know. I'm hoping for Knight's Order to cause an upset. I don't think people are going to see that coming, but Grand Promenade looking the best out of those two. Race 9 is the McGregor Probables Paris Lane Stakes. It's a 1,410 metre. I've got number 5, Morvada. Barrier 2, Damon Land on board. Currently backed at $11. And my second selection is number 9, Tavidance in Barrier 9. Craig Newitt on board and it's currently backed at $6. So maybe a Quinella there. I'm hoping for Morvada to win, Damon Lane to finish off the day with a win. Folks, let's move off to Royal Randwick. Now, race 4 is the TAB handicap. It's a 1,600 metre. Now, I had 2 selections in this, but one of my horses got scratched earlier this morning. That was number 5, Cordia. It's officially scratched out of the race. I've got number 3, Big Boy Roy. Now, Barrier 10, J Mac on board, currently back at $4.20. I've chose Big Boy Roy a couple of weeks ago. He came second. I thought that was great. Last race, same distance, same track. And as I mentioned, it placed second. So, Big Boy Roy, he's got the distance in him. That's for sure. He's, James McDonald has a brilliant ride on Big Boy Roy. And hopefully he gets to win today. Race 5 is the Hill Stakes. It's a 2,000 metre. I've got number 1, Think It Over, Barrier 4. It's the favourite at $1.75. Cheap odds there, really cheap odds. Natural Willer on board. Hopefully has got the distance. It's used to that 1,500 to 1,600 metre races. Last 2,000 metre was the Point Elizabeth earlier this year. And it came fourth, so Think It Over. I just think it needs to get in the pack and coming up to that straight, go all out. And we've seen it in the past from her. She's been brilliant. Number 3 is Shared Ambition in Barrier 3 and J-Mac on board. Maybe a placing for Shared Ambition. Last 2,000 run was in the Neville Selwood in April, which was a win. So Shared Ambition, in the past has got it in him, but I'm not sure if recent form's going to add up to that because, recently it's been a bit off and it needs maybe a spell, or if it can get the win today, hopefully it gets back on track. Race 6 is the Premier Stakes 1,200 metre now. Number 1, Masked Crusader, who is the favourite, will go well. It's going to be a great race, this one. Tommy Berry in the saddle for Masked Crusader. But I've got number 5, Rothfire, on top for me. Barrier 8, Tim Clark on board. Currently back to $3.60. Race 7 is the Flight Stakes, 1,600 metre. I've got number 1, 4 moves ahead, Barrier 13, National Willer on board. Currently back to $4.40. It won the T-Rose. That was a solid run, and hopefully 4 moves ahead can get a win today in the Flight Stakes. I've chucked in number 8, Von Trapp, Barrier 14, Joshua Parr in the saddle. Currently back at $10, Von Trapp, and end of August it had a great win at Hawkesbury. That was a 1,300 metre. Hopefully a placing for Von Trapp today. Race 8 is the Epsom. It's a 1,600 metre, one of the major races at Royal Randwick today. Now, it was hard to choose a horse to win it in the form this morning, but looking at number 6, Hungry Heart, Barrier 10, Kieran McAvoy on board, currently back to $6. That's my top selection. Just seeing in the George Main Stakes, I know it finished 4th, but what a run. It dug deep, had a late charge, it finished strongly, and I think it can finish strongly and get the win in the Epsom. I'm hoping so, because Hungry Heart, what a horse, and what a finish in the George Main despite the 4th placing. Number 9, Rigadini. I've also chucked Rigadini in now. Barrier 15, Rachel King on board. Carolyn back to $4.60, finished second in the George Main. Now, that was just like Hungry Heart, great run. It held, it kept fighting, was beaten by Very Elegant in the end. That was always going to be a challenge. But Riadini, if it rains a bit, Riadini, can place, I would say, as it did in the George Main in those wet conditions. Race 9 is the Metropolitan. It's a 2,400 metre. I've finished off the Saturday races with a box trifecta. Now, I've got number 8, Montefilia, barrier 17, Hugh Bowman on board, came second in the Kingston Town Stakes. I've also chucked in number 9, Attorney, barrier 20, J-Mac on board. Last win was the Pakenham Cup in 2020. Currently back to $14. Now, that Pakenham Cup was 2,500 metre. It's got the distance in him, Attorney. The recent form has been a bit off lately, but hopefully he picks up his game. And to finish off the box trifecta, I've got number 14, Intent. Barrier 4, Tim Clark on board. Last start was a win in the Colin Stephen quality. It was a 2,400 metre. So that it's used to the distance, Intent. Montefilia, go well. I think Attorney may cause an upset. I know it's a bit of a long shot and it's going to be a challenge to beat Montefilia and Intent. But, Attorney may be on top for me. Go with the box trifecta, folks. So first, second, third, any way round. And there's my selections, number 8, number 9, and number 14. Folks, it's going to be a fantastic day of racing. Hopefully the weather does hold up. I can't wait. Get excited, folks. The spring is heating up. And, it's just fantastic to watch. If you are taking a punt, good luck. And as always, gamble responsibly.